The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor on a Thursday night. Vice President Kamala Harris tomorrow will travel to El Paso to visit the border amid what people living there call a crisis. It's just days before Texas Governor Greg Abbott will tour a more southern location with former President Donald Trump. It has people asking, is this action or acting? Our panel is hot tonight. Take a look. And our guests are here to talk about the race to the border. Tony Diaz, let's begin with you. Do you think Vice President Harris is going to the border only because former President Trump announced that he would be going next week?
Well, that's been her mandate from President Biden. And what I would add is she needs to keep working hard to get the Democrats' narrative across, because what they seem to be doing is catering to the right-wing base by saying things like, don't come. They're basically playing off Republican talking points. And Greg Abbott's already plagiarized and stolen all the ideas that Donald Trump threw away, like building the border wall. He's just changed the whole idea of Texas was going to pay for the border, where now Texans are going to pay for the border on a GoFundMe campaign. So she just needs to stay the course and distinguish what the Democrats believe can be done at the border.
Is there a real focus from her, though, Tony? Is there a real focus from the vice president? Many have said she hasn't really made any true effort to address the border issue, and she is now going after former President Trump announced he was going to the border.
Well, let me put it this way. She's just had this mandate for a few months. This has been an issue that's been taking decades. So what I'm getting at is that she needs to come here, and so does Biden. If they want to win Texas, if they want to do something about the border sincerely, they both need to come 20 times, and they need to show how Democrats will act differently than Republicans. That's the key point. Let's be ordered. Let's come up with some organization, but let's be humanitarian and visionary.
Claver, let's bring you into this conversation about the race to the border between the vice president and former President Trump. Your thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes political theater or optics are very important in winning the hearts, souls, and votes of the American electorate, and that's what's going on right now. Now, remember last week, 45 said that he was going on June 30th. This mandate, this responsibility has been given to Kamala Ding Dong for 3 months, and she has tried everything possible to avoid going to the border because the press has to go with her. Now, all of a sudden, yesterday, gin, Japanese rice wine, that's G-I-N.
Come on now, be careful, don't be ugly, Claver.
Oh, no, because, well, we're not going to go there. Let me stick to it. 48 hours, she says, we're going to the border. And the press is going to be all in chaos. Can we get a crew down there? What we're going to end up happening is maybe the majority of the White House press corps be able to get down there with pool camera coverage, because she doesn't want the mainstream media, legacy media, to go down there and see how bad it really is. Then she chooses to go to El Paso, where she's probably going to get the least hostile welcome, Beto country. She's not going to go to the RGV sector, the Laredo sector, the Del Rio sector. She certainly isn't going to go to the Big Bend sector, where she's going to have to get rid of her man suit and put on some hiking boots and endanger her pedicure.
You are filled with insults today. Let's bring Antonio into this conversation. And also, Antonio, he makes a good point. Why El Paso and not the border?
First of all, I think it's a welcome visit from any head of state to come down to the border and take a look at what's going on, right? First of all, we need to recognize that immigrants are humans, and we need to treat them with dignity and respect. I hope that this is not just a photo op, and I hope that the vice president is coming in good faith to really learn and get a firsthand experience about the inhumane treatment that a lot of immigrants are receiving at the hands of Customs and Border Patrol. I also want to recognize that the Democratic Party won the White House, the Senate, and the House with an overwhelming message of comprehensive immigration reform. Every single Democratic candidate across this country ran on a promise to deliver comprehensive immigration reform, and the American public voted overwhelmingly with record-breaking votes to bring them into power. It's time that they deliver what they ran on, right? And I hope that this is a step in that direction to start to finally finalize that promise of giving citizenship to the 11 million. Now, in terms of why El Paso, I completely agree that our border is vast and wide, and we should take in consideration the entire border area. And yes, I do welcome a visit in the future, perhaps to the Rio Grande Valley and other areas, including Zapata County, who went from the Democratic to the Republican side. An investment in those counties, in those areas is needed, and we should not stray away from those communities or ignore them at all.
Tex Christopher, let's hear from you.
Well, hey, she's a joke. This whole theatrical thing that she's doing is a joke as well. Joe Biden wasn't man enough to go ahead and deal with it himself, so he passed it on to her. She's been sitting in her pretty little seat for 169 days. We all know, and all the viewers know, that everything rises and falls on leadership. She's not leading, so she's following a leader, and his name is President Trump. So there's many people that had a concern, hey, can a woman go ahead and do this job? In her case, and in her case only, let me be clear. The old saying, you don't go ahead and send a woman to do a man's job. I guess she's showing everybody that, hey, she's serious.
And Tony, I'm going to let you answer that, address that really quick before we go. Address what Tex is saying.
The misogynistic messages coming out of both of these Republican sides are absolutely ludicrous. Y'all have made fun of, y'all have said sending a woman to do a man's job. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 2021, and it's time to recognize that we have a female vice president, a black female vice president. You got to respect that.
One at a time, Claver. I'll give you a chance. 1 second, Claver. Continue, Antonio.
It's really, guys, we need to man up and stop attacking her because of her gender. It's absolutely ridiculous. We need to focus on the issue.
The men are getting that done, though.
At least Kamala can tweet and post on Facebook. Trump can't.
Go ahead, Claver. We want to hear from you now.
Yeah, okay, hear from me. She is in public office. She is not immune from satire, criticism, or being slammed just because of her gender. No, she was supposedly elected, with President Peepaw, the commander-in-chief. No, it's open season on her, especially what she wants to do to this nation and to individuals and our individual freedom, our individual liberty. Don't give me this misogynistic stuff. Don't do that. No,
attack her policies. Don't attack her gender. Attack her policies. Attack her platform.
I'm attacking her policies. And
no, there were some sexist statements, but outside of that, Trump had 4 years to try and do the job. He failed at it. And what's worse is that Abbott is using this to distract us from him not doing his job to fix our power grid and to make sure that we don't freeze our butts off again in the winter. And he's not doing that either.
Curious, not serious, Tony. She's curious. She's showing you that she's curious. She's not taking action. So she can't do the job. So step aside and let a real man and a real leader do so.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. What can we do about Tex?